That morning, the staccato click of stiletto heels cut through the hushed lobby of Benjamin Group Towers like gunfire. Sophia Uch strode in, head high, the way she always did though the building itself had been waiting for her arrival. Her tailored black pencil skirt moved with her like a second skin. The crimson Hermes Kelly bag on her arm cost more than most people earned in a year. She didn't walk, she claimed territory. Then she stopped. A faint splash, a single droplet of water had kissed the corner of her bag, leaving a darker smudge on the pristine leather. Sophia's eyes narrowed to slits. She followed the trail of wet streaks across the marble, and found the culprit, an old man in a faded cleaner's uniform, bent nearly double, pushing a mop with trembling hands. The bucket had sloshed, a harmless accident. Sophia's rage was instant and volcanic. "Do you know how much this costs, you useless old goat?" she hissed, voice carrying across the lobby. Heads turned, phones lowered. "Do you even know who I am? Personal assistant to the CEO. You just ruined a bag your entire village couldn't afford." The old man dropped the mop handle and lifted both hands in panic. "I'm sorry, madam, please. It was a mistake." His apology only fed the fire. Before anyone could react, Sophia lashed out. The sharp toe of her Louboutin slammed into the old man's thigh. He staggered, lost balance, and crashed to the floor with a pained grunt. Gasps rippled through the lobby. A junior staff member took one step forward, then thought better of it. Sophia towered over him. "People like you should know your place. Look at you, Ode. Slow, pathetic. Next time, clean properly, instead of splashing filth everywhere like an animal." She adjusted the strap of the ruined bag, turned on her heel, and marched away, the clicks echoing again like nothing had happened. The old man stayed on the floor a moment longer, blinking back tears. A middle-aged cleaner rushed over. "Papa, are you hurt?" she whispered, helping him up. He only nodded, saying nothing. No one in the lobby that morning could have guessed the man Sophia had just humiliated and kicked was Benjamin Okafor, founder of the empire, silent billionaire, and father to the current CEO, Jude Benjamin. 20 minutes later, Sophia was on the 7th floor, legs crossed at her glass desk, answering emails as if the lobby incident had been erased with the water on the marble. Her phone buzzed. "Come downstairs." Now Jude's voice was clipped, colder than she had ever heard it. She frowned. Downstairs? They never met downstairs. Still, she touched up her lipstick, grabbed her phone, and took the elevator. The doors slid open to the lobby, and the air left her lungs. There, standing ramrod straight in a bespoke navy suit, clean-shaven, commanding the entire space, was the old cleaner. Beside him stood Jude, arms folded, face carved from ice. Sophia's heels felt suddenly welded to the floor. "Sophia," Jude said quietly, "care to explain what happened this morning?" She opened her mouth. Nothing came. The older man, Mr. Benjamin Okafor, spoke, calm and deep. "You were very eloquent earlier. Go ahead. Repeat it for my son." Her knees buckled. She hit the marble hard, the same floor she had just lorded over. "Sir, I didn't know. Please." Mr. Okafor looked down at her without anger, only sorrow. "I do this often, Sophia. I walk these halls in disguise to see the hearts of the people my son employs. I don't come for praise. I come to see if this company still remembers humanity when no one is watching. Today you showed me yours." Jude's voice was barely above a whisper. "You're done here. Security will escort you out. The car that brought you this morning will leave without you." She was walked out past rows of silent faces, people who once flinched at her glare, now watching her ruin in real time. 3 days later, in the cramped flat she shared with her widowed mother, Sophia locked herself in her room and swallowed a bottle of rat poison. Her mother found her foaming at the mouth, body jerking on the floor. Neighbors carried her to the little community clinic that had no antidote, no ventilator, no hope. Olivia knelt in the corridor, screaming her daughter's name to an empty sky. Then the door burst open. Jude Benjamin strode in, flanked by private hospital staff. Behind him walked Mr. Benjamin Okafor, eyes red but steady. "We're airlifting her to Mercy Private," Jude told the stunned doctor. Now, they pumped her stomach, flooded her veins with antidote, kept her alive through the night. When Sophia finally opened her eyes, 4 people sat beside her bed, her weeping mother, her stone-faced former boss, and the billionaire she had kicked holding her hand. She tried to pull away, ashamed, but Mr. Okafor's grip was gentle and unbreakable. "Look at me, child," he said softly. Hot tears rolled down her temples into the pillow. "You made a terrible mistake," he continued. "But mistakes are teachers, not executioners. Your life is not the price for your pride." Jude spoke for the first time. "I didn't come here for the company. I came because my father asked me to remember we are human first." Mr. Okafor squeezed her hand once more. "Get up when you're ready, Sophia. Not to serve me, never that again. Get up to become someone your mother can be proud of, someone you can live with. The rest we will help you carry." Outside the window, dawn broke gently over the city, indifferent and new. The way second chances always arrive quietly, without announcement, asking only that you choose to stand. 6 months later, the lobby of Benjamin Group Towers looked exactly the same, polished marble, morning light pouring through the glass facade, the low hum of a new day beginning. Only this time, Sophia walked through the revolving doors, carrying nothing but a simple leather satchel and a quiet smile. She no longer took the executive elevator. She waited with everyone else. People still noticed her, of course. Whispers followed her down corridors the way perfume trails a woman who knows she no longer needs to announce herself. She had returned from Johannesburg as one of the top 3 graduates of the program, and word had spread. The East Africa headquarters wanted her as regional head of administration and culture, a role created, some said, just for her. But Sophia had asked for something else. That morning she walked straight to the 3rd-floor courtyard where the cleaning staff took their tea break. The same woman who once called Mr. Benjamin Popper was pouring Lipton into plastic cups. When she saw Sophia, her eyes widened. "Madam Sophia, just Sophia, Auntie," she corrected gently, accepting a cup. "Please." They talked the way old friends do after a long separation, about children, about rain, about how the price of tomatoes refused to come down. Sophia listened more than she spoke. When the break ended, she stood and helped stack the plastic chairs. Later, on the executive floor, she knocked softly on the double doors of the chairman's office. "Come in." Mr. Benjamin Okafor looked older now, but his eyes still carried that calm. Seeing light, Jude stood beside him, arms folded, a small smile playing at the corner of his mouth. Sophia closed the door and placed a single envelope on the desk. "I'm not taking the Nairobi job," she said simply. Jude raised an eyebrow. "You earned it. More than earned it. I know, but I've thought about it every night for the last month. I don't want to lead from the top anymore. I want to build from the ground." She took a breath. "I'm starting the Humanity First Foundation inside the company, a program that trains every single employee, from security guard to executive, in empathy, dignity, and crisis response. We'll rotate senior staff through janitorial, driving reception, real days, real work. And every quarter, the chairman himself will walk the floors in disguise, just like before. Only this time, we won't be testing people, we'll be teaching them." Mr. Benjamin studied her for a long moment. "And who will run this foundation?" he asked quietly. "I will," she answered, "if you let me." Silence filled the room, thick, reverent. Then the old man did something no one in that building had ever seen him do in public. He stood, walked around the desk, and pulled Sophia into a long, fatherly embrace. "My daughter," he whispered into her hair. "Welcome home." Behind them, Jude laughed softly and wiped his eyes. 1 year later, the annual Benjamin Group Family Day was always held on the open grounds behind the headquarters. Children ran between bouncy castles, old staff danced to fela, and the smell of suya and jollof rice drifted everywhere. Sophia, now executive director of the Humanity First Foundations, stood near the entrance in a simple Ankara wrapper, greeting every single person by name. Security guards, drivers, interns, board members, no difference. Near the main stage, Clement held their 6-month-old daughter on his hip, rocking gently while she grabbed at his tie. When he caught Sophia's eye across the crowd, he lifted the baby's tiny hand and made her wave. Sophia felt her chest expand so wide, she thought it might break open. Later, when the sun began to set and the sky turned the color of ripe mango, Mr. Benjamin Okafor took the microphone. The crowd hushed. "Many years ago," he began, voice steady, "I came to this company dressed as the least among us. One person saw an old cleaner and treated him like dirt. That day broke my heart, but it also birthed something beautiful." He turned and looked straight at Sophia. "Today, because one woman chose to rise instead of disappear, more than 4,000 employees across West Africa have learned that power is not in titles. Power is in how gently you treat the person society calls small. He paused, eyes shining. Sophia Uch, come. She walked to the stage on shaky legs. The applause thundered. Mr. Benjamin placed something in her hand, an old worn janitor's badge, the same one he had worn that fateful morning. On the back, someone had engraved new words in tiny, perfect letters. From the ground, we see the sky. He pinned it to her wrapper, right over her heart. Then he stepped back and, in front of 10,000 people, the billionaire founder of Benjamin Group, bowed deeply slowly to the woman who once kicked him. Sophia's tears fell freely now. She bowed in return, lower, longer. When she straightened, she looked out at the sea of faces, some who once feared her, some who once pitied her, some who now loved her, spoke the only words that mattered. On this spot, pride fell and humanity rose. May we never forget who we can become. Every new employee was brought here on their first day and told the story not as gossip, but as scripture. Sophia Okafor, she had taken Clement's surname the day they married, no longer worked inside the building full-time. She had stepped away 5 years earlier to run the Humanity First Foundation globally. The foundation now operated in 17 African countries, training leaders, building schools, and most importantly, teaching children from the age of 6 that dignity is not earned by wealth but given by choice. That morning, she returned to the towers for a special reason. Little Nenjmu, now 12, tall and thoughtful, and Grace 9, fearless and quick to laugh, walked beside her, holding her hands. A third child, Victory, 6 years old, rode on Clement's shoulders, waving at every security guard like they were old friends. They were there for the inauguration of the Benjamin Okafor Leadership Academy, a boarding school built on the exact village land where Mr. Benjamin once carried water on his head as a boy. The academy would take in children from the poorest homes and give them the kind of education billionaires pay millions for completely free. Mr. Benjamin was old now, hair snow-white, walking with a cane, but his eyes still sparkled with mischief. He stood at the podium under a Harmattan sun, voice steady. "I built companies," he said. "I built wealth. But the best thing I ever built was a second chance for one proud young woman who taught me that even an old man can still be surprised by grace." He turned and beckoned. Sophia walked forward with her family. Cameras flashed, phones rose, but she saw only the old man who once knelt on this earth as a cleaner. He took the microphone from the stand and handed it to her. "Your turn," he said softly. Sophia looked out at the sea of children in brand new uniforms, at the staff who had become family, at her husband and children glowing in the sunlight. She smiled. No makeup, no designer bag, no need to prove anything. "Someone once told me," she began, voice clear and calm, "that the ground is the best place to see the sky. I stand here today because someone chose kindness when I offered cruelty. I stand here married to love, mother to 3 miracles, leader of a movement that began with 1 kick and ended with 1 million open hands." She turned to Mr. Benjamin and did what no protocol had prepared for. She knelt fully, gently on the same earth where he was born, and pressed her forehead to his feet in the old village way. The crowd gasped, then went utterly silent. Mr. Benjamin's eyes filled. He placed both hands on her head like a blessing. "Stand up, my daughter," he whispered, voice breaking. "You have honored me enough." Sophia rose. The children cheered. The cameras couldn't capture the moment properly because too many grown men and women were crying. Later, when the speeches were done and the children ran to their new classrooms, Sophia and Mr. Benjamin sat under a mango tree, watching Clement chase Victory, while Nenjmu and Grace helped younger ones carry their bags. The old man spoke first. "You kept your promise," he said. "So did you," she answered. He nodded slowly. "I'm tired now," he said, "but I will leave this world happy, knowing the company know. The legacy is in hands that once pushed me down, and then spent every day after lifting others up." Sophia rested her head lightly on his shoulder, the way a daughter does. "Thank you for letting me kick you that day," she said, half laughing, half crying. He chuckled, the sound warm and low. "Thank you for letting me forgive you." Years later, when Mr. Benjamin Okafor finally slept and did not wake, the nation mourned a titan. But at his funeral, beneath the canopy of 1,000 white umbrellas, Sophia stood and read the eulogy. She did not speak of his billions or his buildings. She spoke of a morning on a marble floor, of a mop bucket, of a kick, and of a hand that reached down not to strike back, but to pull up. And when she finished, she placed a single item in his coffin, an old, faded cleaner's badge. On the back, the same words he once had engraved for her. "From the ground, we see the sky." Then she stepped back, took her husband's hand, gathered her children close, and whispered the line that had become the quiet motto of everything she now lived. Kindness is the only wealth that multiplies when you give it away. And somewhere, beyond the sky, the ground had taught them both to see. An old man in a cleaner's uniform smiled, wiped a tear, and finally went home.